The ninth criterion is punctuation and is the same for both persuasive and narrative text. That is, the use of correct and appropriate punctuation to aid the reading of the text. Please take the time to check your punctuation before you finish, because it is very, very easy to lose marks in this section, and I've seen many good writers lose marks for silly errors here. The word that I'm asking you to remember here is very simple. It is just being accurate. Your punctuation needs to be accurate. So the sort of things we're looking for here are sentence punctuation. So simple things like capital letters to begin sentences, full stops, question marks, and exclamation marks to end sentences. Other punctuation you might be looking at is things like commas if you're using a list, commas to mark clauses and phrases, apostrophes for contractions, so words like do not becoming don't, making sure that your apostrophe is in the right place. Apostrophes for possession, Bob's dog, apostrophe S. Or if you're looking at plurals, the apostrophe comes after the S. These basic things that you should know, and if you don't, you might need to revise. Capital letters and commas used within quotation marks. I'll say a little bit more about that in a minute. Quotation marks for text extracts where you're quoting. Highlighted words and words with ironic emphasis. Brackets and dashes where necessary, colons and semicolons, and ellipsis where necessary. And if you don't know what those are, it might be the case that you need to revise those. Don't lose silly marks for failing to use capitals for proper nouns. So first names and surnames, titles, place names, institution names, days of the week, months of the year, street names, book and film titles, holidays, and historical events all need capitalization. Common errors for punctuation. I mentioned this before in one of my previous videos, but the comma splice, which creates a run-on sentence, is incorrect and will make you lose marks, particularly if you keep doing it. So here is an example. The dog ate my homework, comma, it was hungry. That is incorrect. It is a comma splice. The second example is correct. The dog ate my homework, full stop. It was hungry, full stop. The second common error is incorrect use of quotation marks, and I see this a lot. So you need to make sure you use capital letters and commas correctly when quoting. So, if you've got a character speaking, you always capitalize the first word in a quotation, even if it is mid-sentence. Commas go inside the quotation marks. If someone is about to speak, put a comma after their name and before the quotation marks. So here's an example. You can see there, sit down over there, he said. You've got a capital for the word sit and a comma before you close the quotation marks. Another example, Jane said, comma, capital, that work we started last year is done. The third example is where you might have a speech and you break it up with who is speaking. So this is an example of where in the second part of the quote, because it is still part of the one sentence, you don't need a capital. So ladies and gentlemen, comma, said Rani, and then because it's a continuation of that sentence, the show is about to start. Lowercase is used in the second set of quotation marks because the sentence is interrupted by the speaker identification. If you need any assistance with this, please see your teacher, but hopefully these slides have made that clear, and make sure that you understand all the things that you need to be aware of when you're checking your punctuation.